You join us today as we arrive early at Pin Mill in Suffolk. There's no sunrise shoot this morning as we've checked out of our hotel and will be leaving the east coast after this shoot to meet up with family further west. But it does give us time to explore the location and more before returning to get our shots. After parking and paying the very reasonable fee, we walk down to the river. We need to head in that direction, past these houseboats and into Pin Mill Woods. A few minutes later, we arrived at the classic location of the boat graveyard. We didn't have room for wellies in our suitcase on this trip, so are limited to waterproof boots. So we won't be hanging around for too long for deeper water, and we'll be careful not to sink into any estuary mud. That would be both problematic and likely very smelly in the car for the next week or so. Other than that classic too, there's quite a few other boats here, all in various states of being reclaimed by nature. Mrs. Faceless was particularly taken with this one, and this angle, with all of the ribs of the hull showing. Now is time for some quick phone photos we can refer to later, before we take a break. And what better place to take a break than an English pub? Cracking name too. So we grabbed a table with Mrs. Faceless partaking of a salad and smoked mackerel pâté, whilst I was true to my roots and went for fish and chips. All washed down with an adult barley water. With stomachs full and still a good couple of hours until the tide was due to turn, we wandered back to the car to grab 20 winks. Or maybe 40. After a most satisfying snooze, we grabbed our cameras and headed back into Pin Mill Woods. The tide was slowly making its way up to and around the boats, so it shouldn't be long before they're surrounded, and with the merest of slight winds blowing, we start getting some good reflections. Time for a quick shot to test settings and composition. We will be attempting to remove the horizon in post-processing, so trying not to get too much crossover of objects would be helpful. Having found a solid patch of sand and shingle to stand on without sinking, we set about waiting for the tide to edge forward just that little bit further. And we didn't have long to wait. A very nice afternoon's work there, I think. With the impending family rendezvous and not wanting to be cut off by a rising tide, we retreated to the causeway near the pub, where we were confronted by the world's second most graceful creature, after Mrs. Faceless, of course. I didn't know they liked brackish water. With time getting on, we needed to hit the road, so we headed back to the car and topped up our bottles ready for a drive west.
I mean, seriously. This is a standard sized drink container. Or maybe it is in America.
About an hour later, we'd travelled 50 miles or so when this sound started. Holy mother of... How does this become acceptable in modern life? A coffee cup, presumably telling me I need to stop for fear of actually getting to my destination in a reasonable time. I've gone 50 miles, people. 50, not 500. That 20 minutes seemed like an eternity, so I'll spare you the full volume of the nanny state nonsense. A quick look at points of interest I tagged on the sat-nav that we may be near, and respite is close. Indeed, a few minutes later, Great Chishill Windmill came into view, to a very peculiar look from Mrs. Faceless, who was probably thinking of those modern bird-mincing monstrosities rather than this historic piece of engineering. Firstly, I have to say, silence is golden, and for those nitpickers out there, birdsong counts as silence. This windmill is one of only 7 or 8 open trestle post mills left in the country. Built in 1819, it stopped milling in 1951, but is now regularly open to the public. I'll put a link below. What makes this windmill special is the fantail, which automatically turns the vanes towards the wind. As if by magic, the wind has arrived, spinning the fantail, turning the gearing, which is more easily seen here, and ultimately transferring that motion down to turn the wheels. The time had come for Mrs. Faceless to take a quick photo. Or two. This is where reviewing your images along with patience and persistence comes into play. The sun is setting behind the windmill with a beautiful golden glow being cast all over the landscape. This image has motion in the fantail, but the vane has now moved round and is touching the hedge. A few minutes later and a little shuffle to the left, that vane is now no longer touching the hedge, and it's also creating a sunstar. Another little shuffle, and now a sunstar using the main structure of the windmill. Very nice, I think you'll agree. So with that shot in the bag, it was time to go meet the family. So we got back into the car, and all the nanny annoyances had temporarily ceased. Temporarily. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed travelling along with us today, a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. Until next time.